Look at Wanda, ready to rock her big presentation. But first, lunch. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Delicious, celebratory, but is it quick? The Cobb salad. Tender oven-roasted chicken, topped with cheese. Prepared, plated, and served in 6 minutes? Is this for real? Well, of course. Well done, Wanda. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Yes, ma'am. Life is sweet.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. On this Tuesday evening, the clouds just have not busted open really at all today. I think that's going to be a challenge again for tomorrow. We've had to adjust our high temperatures down just a little bit as a result. The estimation, this happens about once or twice a year. We get locked in the clouds and temperatures just don't move. We haven't really had it this time around. Looks like we're in that week where that's going to be the case. Nonetheless, at least it's still fairly mild out there, all things considered. We're at 59 degrees as of 7 p.m., 57 by 10, and really kind of stay there as we go into the overnight hours under what should be, again, mostly cloudy skies and just an overall kind of weather pattern. No big shock in that regard. That happens again from time to time there. Mississippi Live Mama Justice Doppler radar, again, showing that there's not much in the way of any meaningful precipitation out there. All of our latest scans kind of looking around the region, sort of in clear air mode here to try to pick up if we can really detect anything. And I'll show you this over the last few hours here. There just really isn't much out there to detect. Just a little bit of drizzle from time to time showing up. That's, again, the factor of this low cloud cover that we have in place that likely is sticking around again into tonight. Looking at the cloud cover, really, this is our visible satellite perspective. You can see all that moisture kind of coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. One of the things trying to reinforce this cloud cover and keep it from breaking up for tonight. And I expect they'll probably be in full force again for tomorrow as well. Just one of the things likely limiting those temperatures a little bit through the middle part of the week. On the wider shot here, we have a couple of fronts that we're watching. One back out here toward Oklahoma, and then a couple others back behind this once you look back toward the western United States. This batch here will bring some thunderstorms as we head toward the weekend. It'll bring much, much colder temperatures eventually behind that. It's just a long, long ways behind it before we kind of get into that. And this initial front really doesn't have much in the way of cooler air with it. I mean, we drop a little bit maybe behind it, but as you can see here, it's not a big drop there, is it? I mean, you can see actually temperatures go up just slightly right directly behind the front. So this is one of those things that more than anything, rather than being a cold front, because it's not colder, it represents some less humid air coming in. And so that hopefully, once this kind of moves in from the north and west, will sort of try to break up some of this moisture that we have around here back in the Magnolia State. And then hopefully that will make it to where we can actually see a little bit of sunshine. Once we do, those temperatures are definitely going to head upward a bit more, especially by the latter part of this week. Before we get too deep into that, one thing I want to address, we don't really have much in the way of severe weather risk this week. In saying that, there is, again, no risk out there for tonight in our region, the one up closer to Omaha, Nebraska up there. Day 2 risk, nothing. Day 3 risk, we do have all the way to level 2 risk up there east of St. Louis, up into northern Tennessee. Just not one I think that necessarily is an impact for us. And nothing on the map again for day 4, which would be Friday, or day 5 at this point. But I do think it's possible maybe to get 1 or 2 storms a little bit stronger early Saturday morning. I think timing on this storm system is something that will evolve as we go through the week, and that's something we'll talk more about here in a minute. No official risk, though, in the near term. And so on our future cast, it is the cloud cover that is the story. You see some of the light green here. We're not talking about a lot of meaningful rainfall. It's just kind of drizzly sort of forecast. That continues into this evening and tonight. As you'll note here, toward 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, it is the widespread cloud cover, again, making it where visibility could be a little bit lower early tomorrow morning for a few locations as that cloud cover, will stick around. Can we break it up? I think with the front moving in, it will try to do a little bit of that, but that also could enhance maybe a couple of isolated showers. Not great rain chances for tomorrow, but we're up around 20%, we'll say, as that front kind of nudges in to maybe see something slightly more meaningful. After starting off around 57 degrees, we go 61 by around 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning there, 66 by noon, 3 p.m. we're around 70. But here's the deal on this, and we will show you this city by city in a minute. If you don't break out of this cloud cover, you're not changing that to a 7 in front. We're staying 6s in front for a lot of spots. I think that'll be the case for tomorrow. as, again, the dreariness factor stays in full force. Coming up at 60 seconds, right after the break, we're going to look at a few things going forward. Again, Rain Finder is going to look at just kind of how much rainfall we could end up seeing with both the chances next couple days where it's more drizzle, won't add up to much, and closer to the weekend. And then Storm Finder is going to look at some of those storm chances. It allows us to look at lightning strikes and the kind of concentration there that even this far out gives us an idea of how confident our projections are on maybe some thunderstorms. We're timing that out as we get closer to the weekend and looking at your SEC weekend baseball forecast for both Ole Miss and Mississippi State as Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center, coming up here in 60 seconds. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, support our sponsors.
I have been going to Tupelo Smiles my whole life. When I was a kid, I was unhappy about some uneven coloring on my teeth after getting my braces off, which at the time there really wasn't a fix. I was recently made aware of a solution that would totally fix it, which is exactly what we did. They not only heard my concerns, but they never stopped looking to solve my problem, and that's why I love Tupelo Smiles.
The bravest thing that my dad has done has been going back to school.
It wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
The bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
You wonder how they're going to experience the real world in real safety, where all kids are welcome and everyone has a path forward to new skills, advancement, leadership, something they will carry with them the rest of their lives.
This portion of Mississippi Live Weather is presented by Little's Jewelers.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lovehon.
Cloudy, dreary sort of day here across North Mississippi. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live Weather. Our Mitchell Cunningham and Bowling Sky Cam showing again that widespread cloud cover out there. It also shows us saturation where that temperature and the dew point end up about the same. That's why we're showing 52, one of the drier locations, believe it or not, but that's still humidity. That tops out 100% when those two numbers are exactly the same. It's high enough that, again, widespread clouds, that drizzle. Certainly I saw taking the kids to school this morning. You're probably going to see it again for tomorrow morning for a lot of spots across North Mississippi. Sliding down toward Attala County. And check it out. The folks there in Kosciuszko, temperature 59. Now there's actually a little bit of visibility looking toward the horizon there. What we call alto cumulus clouds and a little bit of sun, more than a lot of us probably end up seeing this afternoon in Kosciuszko. Appreciate the good folks there with North Mississippi Storm Chasers for pairing up with us here on Mississippi Live Weather to bring you these cameras. And then a lot of different cloud levels showing up out in Greenville. Beautiful sunset there. Again, you can share your sunset pictures with us using the Mississippi Live Weather app. Again, free and available for all of those various devices there. You can pick it up for those of you watching us on Facebook and YouTube. If you'd like to watch us in the app, it's the easiest way to do it. You get alerts when we go live. And again, free and available for all of those different devices there. And appreciate all the folks, the 180,000 of you between the mobile apps as well as all the stuff that we have available to us on Roku and Apple TV. Fire TV is coming very soon. So I know some folks have been really waiting for that. We're looking forward to that as well here. Our SEC baseball forecast, looking toward this upcoming weekend, expecting, again, Ole Miss and Mississippi State to have maybe some rain chances around for Friday and Saturday. I'm hoping that the timing works out well for the game. Even though it shows some lightning on there for Saturday, that's earlier in the day and hopefully clearing things out by midday when we have that game. Again, 74 on Friday, the high temperature 69 for Saturday. Again, an earlier time frame on some of those games would maybe push some of those temperatures down just a little bit more. And for Ole Miss and Missouri State there, Friday, we're looking at 67, that peak temperature there. Saturday, we're 64, 50 by Sunday there in Oxford. And appreciate Carl Hogan Toyota for sponsoring our SEC baseball forecasts. This is Storm Finder. Storm Finder is something you see only here on Mississippi Live. It allows us to kind of assess the likelihood of seeing storms. I know, right? Helps find them. One of those things that's named what it is. When we're looking farther out, this gives us an idea how accurate is the projection we're looking at here. And so on our strike model, depicting again storm system, much heavier activity up here closer to Canada. A lot of that's probably snowfall and moderate rainfall versus what we have around here. Notice our first chances start seeing maybe some rumbles of thunder we show for Friday. This gives us an idea. The positioning here on our storm finder might be just a little bit aggressive, a little too far to the east there, where it's looking the early Friday morning time period. Again, not particularly confident. We look for the confidence level when we start to see more of the purples there. And we have more purple starting to show up by around 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning by Saturday. But notice by early Saturday morning there, that's when we start to see, again, brighter colors of purple. And we also see on here where it's depicting at least some lightning with it. That's kind of that peak, that hill that you see there. It's saying, hey, there's a greater number of lightning strikes. The fact that storm finders looking at storms producing lightning all the way to Saturday tells us a few of these could potentially be strong to severe. Now, again, this is a long ways out, and you'll note here that, again, the confidence in seeing some isolated thunderstorm, pretty wide area that we're looking at, but I think the positioning on this, the timing tells us it's possible, again, early Saturday, at least looking at latest timing, potential maybe for some thunderstorms around our region. That timing will shift, and obviously that'll affect that SEC baseball forecast as we get closer. Rain finder, we used a lot during the winter weather to say, hey, what kind of precipitation type are we looking at here? You'll notice there are areas around our region where we show up with some greater confidence, or at least some confidence in seeing some rainfall. You'll notice that compares where it's a lot greater if you go just a little bit to the north and east of us by your Thursday. Again, this shows you high confidence as well as accumulations, and that's what we're looking at with the main green colors there. So what you'll see is while there's some confidence in seeing some rainfall the next couple of days, you know, there's virtually no accumulation with any of the confidence there. That's a sign that what we see between really now and early Friday is just maybe some drizzle if we have it. Our peak time frame to see rainfall and have something that maybe impacts our plans early Saturday at this point here. That's when we get into higher confidence level of seeing some rainfall, maybe some moderate rainfall before this storm system moves on out of here. Rainfall amounts, again, looking fairly limited here. Quarter, maybe half-inch of rainfall. If we're getting up there closer to an inch, some spots to the east where that would be a possibility. It shows us that thunderstorms definitely strengthen as they move eastward and out of the area. That's storm finder and rain finder, something you'll see only here on Mississippi Live, and hopefully gives you an idea what that extended forecast looks like. So the cloud cover has been the story today, but it's kind of been locked in the clouds most of the day. Even at the end of the day here, still some lower level clouds showing up. You can see the edge of that lower level cloud cover there on our satellite where we're layering both the higher level stuff and the low level all on the same perspective there. And looking at power outages, that is something that thankfully has improved over the last couple of weeks. We had some folks there at 5 o'clock are like, hey, we hadn't even seen you since the last since we had the ice storm began, since the 29th of January. We're glad to have them with their power back this evening. As you can see here, nice to see that for the most part, we are all back as far as power outages are concerned here across North Mississippi, and the power back on. Appreciate all the folks that made that happen. Can you join us in chat here, your discussion? We appreciate all of the folks out there that join us on pretty much every night of the week here on Mississippi Live. You can join again that conversation there next to me there. Our IMPC forecast, we're looking at 57 drop-off, 64 by lunch, and 69 degrees by the final bell on your Wednesday. And again, for most of us, it's just be kind of a cloudy and dreary sort of day. That's really the dominant weather feature that we have. We'll answer some of your questions if you have any questions about the forecast here in our interactive portion coming up in the next commercial break there. So in the near term, again, cloud cover, that's the story. Cloudy, dreary, drizzly sort of weather largely is in play here across North Mississippi as we go into your early morning on your Wednesday. And again, mostly cloudy skies. There's just not a lot out there to really change things up. So the fact we have even a little green on the map is a sign it could be a little drizzly. We're 54 for that low temperature in Water Valley and Bruce and Grenada. That's not that far off from where actual temperatures are right now. So that tells us when you're locked in the clouds like this, temperatures just typically don't drop a whole lot. And so we'll stay, again, fairly warm, all things considered, overnight. The first of our fronts arriving for your Wednesday, early part of the day. Most of what we depict out here, out east, when we're looking at here closer to Florence, Alabama, and Hamilton, Alabama, this is kind of drizzle out this direction here, once again, for early Wednesday morning. Don't really show any showers until we start to get into kind of a higher level of green. We'll start to see that for a few spots by our Wednesday afternoon, and maybe see a couple little bits there close to that front. You'll actually see the front kind of re-inject itself into our region before it's fully out of here. But maybe 1 to 2 spots there up closer to Boonville where we get a little more moisture closer to the surface. So between the 5 o'clock show and 6 o'clock show, I've had to kind of slice these temperatures down just a little bit, frankly, just because of confidence on this here that has continued to decrease in how warm we get for tomorrow. So we're showing upper 60s to maybe 72 there in Bruce. I want to give one person the optimistic, hey, maybe we see some sunshine. But in all in all, I'll be shocked if you're in the upper 60s like what we're depicting in both Water Valley and Houston there. Normal this time of year, 59, so almost 10 degrees above that. Your SEC baseball forecast for tomorrow's game, Mississippi State has Alcorn State in town, and we are hopeful to maybe get some of those temperatures up close to 70. I think that's aggressive on our projection, but here's hoping 69 by the 4th inning and then 66 by the conclusion. I'd have a jacket just in case you have a couple of those rain chances out there. Couldn't hurt that it's a rain jacket. And then Jackson State in town against Ole Miss, hopefully around 70 for that first pitch. But again, if we stay locked in the clouds, that's optimistic for those temperatures. Wider shot again shows we have a few showers around. The first of our cold fronts out east of us by your Wednesday evening. The next one back out here toward the Intermountain West. This one is going to get close to us and produce a few isolated showers by your Thursday and maybe early Friday. And it's going to be our next storm system, that one all the way back towards San Francisco. If we see some storm chances by Saturday, that's the one that will bring it here. It's important to note that that's still out in the Atlantic even on Thursday. And so that quick moving wave as it tries to move in is just, it's got a lot of distance to cover between here and there. And that's one of the things that I think will largely probably limit just how intense it is, hopefully, as it moves through our area. So low temperatures early Thursday morning. Again, don't want to jump past this, but again, widespread clouds and mild temperatures. We're in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Again, normal this time of year should be 38. So yeah, we're still way above that. So a few isolated showers early Thursday morning here. Again, just fairly spotty in nature. Most of us not going to really see a lot of meaningful precipitation there. By midday Thursday, we show a couple isolated showers kind of popping up, a greater number of those by 3 p.m. But you'll notice on our scale here, this is all rain. And we're not getting up here quite to the yellows. So we're not getting quite to something that'll probably produce much in the way of thunder. So again, ahead of really anything. And this front, again, will sort of stick around into Friday as well. So high temperatures, if we're going to see the 80-degree point, and it remains a possibility, I'd be thinking Thursday is the day where that could happen. 77 there, Kosciuszko and Eupora, 80 degrees in Houston, 78 Starkville, Macon, and 79 degrees in Columbus for highs on your Thursday. As we look beyond that toward Friday now, I'm going to skip right past early Friday, and I want to show those storm chances here. And again, this is looking at our strike model. Latest in the last little bit does show a few rumbles with this, that quicker moving storm system trying to get in here. But ahead of that, the possibility to see maybe some thunderstorms in the pre-dawn hours of early Saturday. Again, this is our latest strike model. And just between the commercial break and now, this is coming in. So we're going to look at this hot at the same time here. Notice it also has, again, some of those isolated showers and storms. But the difference there in positioning is important to note. This has it about 70 miles farther south than where it was indicating it when we looked at the strike model at the beginning of this segment here. We were looking at Storm Finder. So a sign that, again, the positioning on this is still something we're going to work on. But I think the takeaway is this. By early morning on Saturday, it's a possibility, whether it's down here or whether it's farther north, that we're going to have an area where we have some isolated thunderstorms, possibly to begin Saturday. Hopefully those are below severe limits. Most indications show that they hopefully should be. But certainly something we'll watch nonetheless. And then hopefully that means we're drier than for those SEC baseball games. 7-day forecast. So for your Wednesday, I've dropped it to the upper 60 there to kind of accommodate the fact that, we just have enough cloud cover around it, difficult to break through like it was for today. We're 79, though, by your Thursday. Some spots above the 80-degree point. Limited rain chances for the most part for Thursday. For Friday, we're watching that rain coverage around 40% into late Friday and early Saturday. Now, here's something, just kind of looking at the latest couple runs here on our strike model that I do want to probably adjust. I think I need to probably take that percentage for your Saturday down a little bit. I have it 50%. I'm going to drop that right now back to 40%. And we'll go ahead and update that there. The reason for that, just kind of looking at that latest version of strike, while it has some thunderstorms early Saturday morning, I think you and I both saw the fact that they get a lot heavier back into Alabama. And that is kind of a trend we've seen the last couple runs on strike here. Hopefully something that holds true, even though we do need to kind of make up still for drought conditions for some spots. And so because that's kind of shifting back a little farther east, reducing that percentage just a little bit there. One thing we're going to also reduce is those temperatures. Look at this drop there as we're in the 50s for highs. That's it for Sunday into the first part of next week, and back below freezing for some of those low temperatures. So definitely looking quite a bit cooler into, well, I mean, let's be honest, what's working in the late February? We should be cooler. So should be no shock that that is the direction this is headed. Okay, coming up here in 60 seconds, we're going to look at where things stand on our high school game of the week presented by Casey Lott. And we're going to look at the jet stream pattern on these storm chances, kind of talk about your questions here that you're placing in the chat there as Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center in 60 seconds. Again, stay tuned and we'll be talking again, answering your questions right after this.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi, my name is Rosie. Regional Rehab Center helps kids like me by offering speech therapy, occupational therapy, and dyslexia therapy. Your support helps so many of us get what we need to grow and succeed. Please help the Rehab Center.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Well, a shot here from Linda Norman there in the Columbus area. Appreciate her for sending this in just in the last little bit here on the Mississippi Live Weather app. Send that in at 6:13. So, man, we got that on pretty quickly, less than 10 minutes. Appreciate her and for everyone else for sharing your pictures. So many great sunset pictures from last evening. I think locked in the cloud cover, we're not going to see as many of those this evening. Appreciate that shot there. That one coming in from Vicky. Appreciate Vicky for that sunset shot. Another one here, Paula Little, with this sunset shot as well last evening. Again, you can share your pictures with us. The easiest way to do that, again, is using the Mississippi Live Weather app, free and available for all those different devices. You can send those in right away in the app. And another place, again, you can see us on, for all those folks on Facebook. We have our I guess, poll going right now. Oops, it's going to look like I voted for Wheeler and Okolona. I promise. I try to let these go on their own. But pretty hard fight there on our Mississippi Live Game of the Week presented by Casey Lott. You'll notice that Okolona there, we have about 1,300 votes for Okolona and Wheeler on our game. And Choctaw and Kossuth, we're looking at about 1,100, almost a little more than 1,100 votes. Again, we're going to let the voting on this go through this evening tonight. We might actually just let it go all the way to early tomorrow morning. Sometimes we do that. So we'll see there, and then we'll post there early tomorrow morning on that. But again, our Mississippi Live Game of the Week, you could vote on that there on our Facebook page. Just search for Matt Lopon there. Easiest way to kind of find that poll. One of the things we're looking at in more detail, again, is going to be the jet stream here, which is a reverse fast-moving air in the upper levels of the atmosphere. In looking at that, we're going to kind of break down where things go as far as severe weather is concerned in the extended forecast. And honestly, the overall weather pattern is extended. And I'll bring up our chat here for everyone behind the scenes. Appreciate Tammy for watching there in Burnsville. This time last year, we were a good bit colder. Well, we're heading back that way in a big way. Appreciate Winford there in Marion County, Dorothy, and everybody else. Marcellus asking where Gabe is. If you want to say a quick prayer, we can say a quick prayer right here for Gabe. Gabe's got the flu, and it's hit him pretty hard. So you've got me tonight because of that. So we'll say a quick prayer for him, and maybe just as importantly for his bride, that she doesn't get sick. But God, please heal Gabe quickly. I know, put your healing hand on him and help him to feel better. And protect his bride and their child to be, so that they can all be healthy and safe going forward. Praise in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so this is the jet stream. And we have found ourselves recently kind of in a ridge. We've been into the warm sector of it. We don't really have anything that's really plopped in with some major cold air. We're going to start bringing in some cooler air as we see a bit of a pattern shift looking toward the extended forecast. So I'm going to take this out quite a ways here. So we'll start and again show that over the next couple of days, through Wednesday, through Thursday, we continue to have what we call southwest flow, kind of flow from kind of west to northeast, southwest to northeast. So it's maybe more zonal than truly southwest flow. Anyway, either way, we're going to just kind of continue to have little waves of energy that move through this pattern. And honestly, we don't even have a true big dip here even into this weekend, which is why with some of the strongest winds, mainly north and no real pronounced big disturbance coming through, we're just going to largely stay with some isolated storms, nothing that's overly strong. See if I can get a shot of this, a better angle on this here, so I can position myself with everything. Okay, so this is again looking through this weekend, and you'll notice here this pattern, generally speaking, shifts more toward the northwest. See how we have a ridge out west and the trough out east? This is kind of the setup here where the jet stream, the polar front, continues to bring systems in. So with this pattern here, we're going to have a lot more cold air available to us by the latter part of the weekend and first of next week. I'm not saying it's an Arctic blast, but certainly a shift back closer to the cooler temperatures we expect for this time of year looking into next week. A couple of different storm systems try to dive out of the northwest at us, and that pattern, generally speaking, is pretty cool. And when that dip intensifies there, you get a bigger burst of cold air from the north. That certainly is more likely to kind of keep us chilly for a while. As far as any storms are concerned or any kind of big storm systems, the next one that kind of dips in here, we're looking at the end of the month here as well by this. And some projections have had some thunderstorms, maybe even some stronger thunderstorms by then with this pattern. I think it's possible as we get closer to, say, the 1st of March, that we could be talking about some stormier weather trying to translate in if we kind of get into this pattern there. We'll see. But certainly for the next week or so, as kind of back things up to looking at next week, it's this northwest flow, and that's the pattern that oftentimes keeps us relatively cool. We'll look more at that here. Let's look at temperatures for that matter. Let's see if I go GFS, if I can pull up temperatures, 168 hours. And so again, this is just a model. I hate it when people say that, but that's the way we're going to describe it. And again, these temperatures will be dramatically different once we get to it. But we're going to look all the way a week out here, give you kind of an idea on those temperatures. 20s for lows, maybe even some mid-20s out there for lows as we look toward next week, about a week out. And then beyond that, again, could struggle there on at least this GFS projection to make it out of the upper 40s for highs on Tuesday. So you go a week from now, and that pattern shift goes a lot cooler. You will definitely notice just how much cooler it is. Again, appreciate everyone for watching us. Ayuka, Renita there in watching us. I see Miranda mentioning she hates storms there. Hey, I'm with you. If we can go all the way through this storm season and what we've had is what we have, I'm definitely not going to turn that down. Storms are, I feel very useful when storms happen, and we position you hopefully well that that's, we're prepared for that. But hopefully that's not an issue we have anytime soon. But if storms are something that concern you, completely get that, recommend you pick up Weather Call. Weather Call is a phone notification system that we had at TV station that we have over here as well. And why it matters is that phone calls still break through the clutter of the 11 signal notifications I've had with my group of other meteorologists around the country during this broadcast here. Plus, looks like we've had some emails, some text messages. Amazon wanted to tell me something. So lots and lots of different ways in which your phone blows up with different things. But if this phone rang, that's harder to miss. And so it'll let you know middle of the night, middle of the day, if you're in a zone where you could get hit by tornadoes, severe weather, anything like that. It does come with a cost. Scan that QR code for more information below me there, but it's something that'll let you know if tornadoes are coming, call you back if it gets really, really bad, and certainly something I have for my family, recommend for yours as well. Well, again, thank you so much for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather. Our next live broadcast is going to be coming up here tonight at 10 p.m. here in the Room to Room Weather Center. We'll be looking in more detail at, again, some of those rain and storm chances toward the latter part of this week, an updated look, hopefully, at our storm finder. And again, a dreary, drizzly sort of forecast we're looking at over the next couple of days. That's coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. Thank you so much for your support, for staying online with us here. If you have questions, again, drop them in the chat and get that voting going for our game of the week. We will see you at 10.
By the time you see the symptoms of lung cancer, it could be too late. Now there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early. If you smoked, get scanned.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.